Claude, Cowork, build and automate anything. Today we're going to be looking at the new update from Claude Cowork, which is basically like Claude Code, but for the rest of your work. You can connect it to your files locally. It can, for example, build reports, organize your desktop, all sorts of things. So we'll be testing out exactly how to automate anything that we want using this new update. Now you can see it here inside Cowork. This is available on the Max plan of Claude, as you can see. And if you're thinking, okay, should I use it or should I upgrade, etc.? Well, let's test it out today and see how it is. Now, you can see a few tests I've already run on this. So, for example, we actually said clear my desktop, delete all the folders and the files, and it went off and did that, as you can see. And so it can like delete files off your laptop. It can organize your messy desktop, and it can connect locally to your files, as you can see right here. Here's another one, right? So this is a report that we created, and it actually created a file offline. If we open this up in Pages, for example, you can see here it actually created a full report about Claude Cowork itself, which is better than most reports have ever been given by my team, right? And I think it's super powerful because you can create presentations, local files, you can organize your files, you can have Cowork actually operate your browser as well. And we're going to be running through some of the best ways to do it. Now, to actually use this, the way that you want to use Claude Cowork is to actually download Claude Desktop. Then what you need to do is make sure that you have downloaded Claude, upgraded to Max, and finally, you want to just check for updates, right? So if you go into Claude, you can't see it here, you want to make sure you check for updates. Here's another example. So this is actually a website we created using Claude Cowork, right? And it created a local website and then actually gave me the files to open inside Anti-Gravity, right? So if we click on this, you can see that we can open this folder up inside Anti-Gravity. And here's the other crazy thing, right? So if we actually go to our past conversations, and I'll show you what we did about 9 hours ago, right? You can see, for example, here, we have the AI Profit Boardroom deployed, right? And this is a new website that we created with Claude Cowork. Then we ran it over to Anti-Gravity, and using the MCP tool of Netlify, we actually deployed it to a subdomain. All right, so if we open this up, let's check this out. Boom, look at that. Brand new website, fully designed, locally stored, and then hosted with Anti-Gravity and the Netlify MCP. So there's literally so much you can do with this. It's pretty amazing. And I honestly think we're just discovering the power of this. I think it's still very early days. I mean, here's an example, right? So if we have a look on X, for example, we see what other people are doing. So this is a cool quote from Lenny. And you can see here, he asked it to go through every Lenny's episode and pull out 10 most important themes and lessons. And then literally within about 15 minutes, as you can see, it literally pulled out all the lessons from his local files and podcasts. Pretty insane, right? Here's an example of the screenshot. Here's what you can do. So what I've put together here is a framework that you can use for Claude Cowork, right? And this is called the Folder First framework. So if you're wondering, okay, what is Claude Cowork? What can you do, etc.? So Claude Cowork is Anthropic's brand new AI agent feature that lives inside the Claude desktop on Mac, right? And unlike regular Claude, where you just chat and you copy and paste responses, Cowork can actually access a folder on your computer, read your files, create new files, edit existing files, and complete complex multi-steps autonomously. You give it a job, it makes a plan, it executes, and it delivers finished work. Kind of think of it like hiring a virtual assistant who works at light speed, never gets tired, costs nothing beyond your Max subscription, and can handle like 10 tasks in parallel whilst you go to the gym. That's what we're dealing with right here. Okay, so let's have a look at some examples of how we can use this. So the first thing you want to do is just make sure you have Claude set up. Then you're going to make sure that you have Cowork set up. And then, for example, if you wanted to build a website locally, you could say, okay, make a prototype of a new website for the AI Profit Boardroom, asking clarifying questions to share a plan for how you approach this task, right? Then you can see it asked me a bunch of questions, and it went off and just built it autonomously. And it works perfectly first time round. So it's pretty insane what you can do with this. We can also open this up in Chrome. So we created a HTML version as well as a React version. So the React version we actually launched into Anti-Gravity. The HTML version we hosted locally. But you can see how powerful and easy this is, right? The design is actually super nice. It's actually better than our main website, to be honest. So what I've actually done is created a 30-day build plan where you can use this to set up Claude Cowork and really master it, right? So for example here, let me get some example prompts here. So we're going to say, okay, create a budget tracking spreadsheet with formulas. We'll copy and paste that. Then we'll go into Claude Cowork, like you can see. We need to click on open sidebar. And then from here, we're going to click on new task. And then we're going to click on this. Now, we need to work inside a folder, right? So for example, you can choose a different folder right here. I'm just going to choose my downloads folder, which you can see is super messy. And we'll come on to why that is in a second and how we can fix it. We're going to click on always allow. As you can see right here, we'll switch the folder now so that it's working locally from this folder. And then we can say, okay, create a budget tracking spreadsheet with formulas, right? Let's go. It'll actually just go off and do that. So easy and simple, right? And what it can actually do is actually create the formulas, the tracker, and it can create the physical file itself, right? The digital file. Now, what you can also do as a new task here is you could say, okay, working in downloads, help me organize my downloads folder so it's easier to manage, right? And if you have a look at my downloads folder, for example, over here, you can see that we have a lot of files in there, right? It's super messy. There's no organization. It's not great, right? It's not looking good. It's just a compilation of files, right? And so what we're going to do is get Claude Code whilst it's working on that budget tracker spreadsheet. We're going to get it to organize our downloads as well, right? So it's working from the same folder as you can see right here. By the way, for those asking me if I'm walking right now, I'm on a standing treadmill with my desk. So I've just set up the treadmill, getting the steps in. I'm on about, I think, 20,000 today, something like that, plus some Muay Thai. So you got to keep fit on you whilst you're doing these live streams. So now it said, okay, how would you like your downloads folder organized? You can do it by file type, date, file type and date, or something else, right? So I'm going to go with file type. And then it says, what should I do with the installer files? You can delete them. And let's see what it does. Now, in the meantime, we've actually got the other spreadsheet, I think, ready to go. So you can see here, it's created the spreadsheet. And if we click on open in numbers, we'll click allow. And let's try this out. Boom. There we go, right? Just worked perfectly. So that was super simple and easy. We created the budget tracker. Didn't take any time at all, right? If you go back to the downloads folder, let's have a look. You can see what it's doing in the background over here. In the meantime, we'll tee up some other prompts that we can test. So I'm going to say generate a conference presentation, turn this research into engaging slides with speaker notes, right? Or actually, let's try this out. So we're going to say create a 30-day content calendar from the research files in this folder, organized by topic, content type, and target audience. So we're going to go back over to Claude Code now, and we'll find that research report that we created on Claude Cowork, as you can see. We'll plug this in right here. So it's taking the research it's already done and created, and then it's going to create a 30-day content calendar plan based on that. In the meantime, we've organized our downloads folder. As you can see, it says done. Your downloads folder is now organized. Here's a summary. So videos, images, documents, archives, code. As you can see right here, if we go back to the downloads folder now, boom, and there we go. It's all organized, it's all neat and tidy, and that saves me 30 minutes. Now it's creating the research report and generating the 30-day content calendar. I said, what platforms should the content calendar cover? I'm going to say Twitter, X, and YouTube to promote the AI Profit Boardroom. Let's see what we get back. Now, in the meantime, whilst that's loading, let's run through some limiting beliefs that might be holding you back right here. We've already covered the 30-day plan and the framework. I mean, just to recap on the framework, actually. So this is how you can use Cowork, Claude Cowork, for working on any task. So number one, you want to create a dedicated work folder, right? You number one, because it will just help organize the files that you create, and number two, then it won't have access to your entire computer. It keeps things neat and tidy, right? So you can create one specific folder for each project or task type, right? You put only the files you want Claude to work with in that folder. So for example, like we were working with the downloads folder a second ago, and then we just organized that, right? And the way that you do that is inside the new task bit, you just select which folder you want to deal with right here. Then from there, you want to define the desired outcome, right? So you tell Claude exactly what you want the end result to look like, not the steps, the actual outcome. So for example, I organize these 500 files by client name and date, or turn these 30 screenshots into an Excel report with formulas. From there, you're going to let Claude plan and execute, right? So review Claude's plan. If it looks good, approve it, then step away. Claude will work through the task, handle errors, make decisions, and deliver the final result. And then the final step is like review and iterate, right? So check the output. If it's 95%, give Claude quick feedback to fix the remaining 5%. If it's perfect, you're pretty much done, and you can move the finished work to your main filing system. And that's basically how you can build all of these automations, right? So for example, you could automate your downloads, you could organize your receipt screenshots, you could generate client reports, you could batch client files, create content calendars, all sorts of crazy stuff, right? Even like automating invoicing or, for example, creating training materials will be really powerful using this. So let's go back to Claude, see where we're at. There we go. So we've got the content calendar ready to go. Let's open it up, allow, and boom, 30-day content calendar ready to go. So it's, for example, plugged in the day, the platform, what it's going to do, the content type, and then the actual post and topic as well, plus a hook and the target audience as well. And the only thing it has slightly messed this up. So for example, if you look here, it's not put the date, it's put the platform, it's put each column in the one to the left, if that makes sense. So it has failed on this task, really. It's not done it perfectly, but I guess you would just grab all of these, like you can see, and then just paste it in like that, right? That's how you would handle that. But still, just be careful with stuff like that. So it's not 100% perfect. Like I said, it'll get 95% done, and then you just go back and you give your feedback inside here. So you're like, okay, just make sure you organize the columns properly, something like that, right? But you can see today how we've, for example, organized desktop, we've created websites, we actually wrote a message and then posted it on X. So let's open this up. You can see that post right here that we automated with Claude Cowork. You can research and generate client reports, like you can see. You can create spreadsheets with formulas, you can organize different folders, and you can create like a 30-day content calendar plan. So there's pretty much nothing that you can't automate right here. Like there's so much potential to this. It's amazing. And also like the fact that it just connects to the programs that you want to use, right? So you create a spreadsheet, you open it in Numbers. You create a website, you open it in Anti-Gravity, right? And that way you can just move the project and the files that you've created to the program that you'd normally use to fix and manage that. So let's talk about some limiting beliefs to help you win with Claude Cowork. So number one, people think like, oh, I need to be technical to use AI agents. And some people think, oh, AI agents are for developers. I don't know how to code. I can't use these tools without learning programming first. Actually, Cowork, I think, is created for office workers. Like, it's not designed for developers or technical people. And so the entire point of Claude Cowork is that you don't need to be technical. You just describe what you want in plain English. And so it's super easy to manage. Like, you don't touch code, you don't touch the terminal, you don't need to understand how anything works under the hood. You just say what you want done, and Claude figures out how to do it. Top of that, other people say, well, I'm not comfortable giving Claude access to my files, right? The way that I would handle that is like, just give it access to the files and the folders that you want, right? So you can sort of basically organize a folder that's separated from everything else. Give Claude only access to that folder. And then that way, it doesn't have access to your entire computer. Other people will say, well, AI will make mistakes and I have to fix everything. The old limiting belief was like AI always mess things up or spend more time fixing Claude's mistakes and just doing the work myself. But actually, Claude Cowork shows you its plan before implementing it. So it lets you course correct mid task. It produces 90% of the work. And then, it saves you a lot of time, even if minor tweaks are needed. So that's basically how to use Claude Cowork and automate anything that you want and build anything that you want. And if you want to get access to the video notes from today, you can get that inside the AI Success Lab. Link in the comments description. If you go to the classroom right here, and then you go to January 2026, you'll find all the notes. And I've also added a bonus extra free video inside there just to help you and show you a bit more about what it can do under the hood. And also, if you haven't already, check out our private AI automation community, the AI Profit Boardroom. This is a community of winners who are growing, learning, and winning with AI. We actually have a daily accountability group. So if you're struggling with overwhelm or focus, if you're struggling with getting things done, this is an awesome group for you. Like you see, we check in daily and we make sure everyone gets their goals implemented, right? Top of that, it's not just me that's winning with AI. You can see all of our members like this, just absolutely crushing it. So, for example, like Joe building out his first NA10 automation. You've got Steve Light doing a 30-day YouTube challenge. And you've got, for example, Clint building out some crazy apps inside anti-gravity, right? So legendary members, just loads of people making progress and just implementing and getting results, like you can see. Also, we do 4 weekly coaching calls. You can jump on these coaching calls, ask any help, get advice, etc., whenever you need it. And inside the classroom here, we actually have a beginner to expert AI agent course. So if you want to learn how to automate your business and go from beginner to expert in just 5 weeks, plus how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes, you can get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom, along with my best playbooks for example, automating emails, automating Twitter, automating avatar videos and screen shares like you see. So you've probably seen my social media content. And also, for example, we teach you how to get more clients for your agency. We show you how to rank number 1 inside AI and Google as well. And then we also have our 6-week roadmap for YouTube that shows you how to grow a YouTube channel based on what's working for me. So you can get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Just go to the link in the comments description or go to aiprofitboardroom.com. Let's see what questions we got here. Agent says, I wanted to build end-to-end working stuff. Please let me know. I tried anti-gravity, but it failed. We'll come on to that in a second. Don't worry. And, if you're watching on YouTube, I actually have a lot of training on how to use anti-gravity. So you can just watch my videos on how to use that and deploy stuff with it. Nasir says, just joined. Any recording available? Yep, there'll be a recording inside the AR Profit Boardroom if you want to watch this back. All types of everything. This says, this is going round me now. Yes, scary. Information overload or what? I just don't know where to start or what to do first. So that's a great question. I see a lot of people struggling with that, right? So when you join the AR Profit Boardroom, what we actually do is we direct message you and we find out what path you want to take, right? So, for example, if you're struggling with focus or if you're struggling with getting clients, whatever your problem is, right? We actually have a full protocol for each part of the journey. And so we have these custom journeys that we guide you through depending on what your situation is. And you can always direct message me if you need help with that, right? But inside the AI Profit Boarding, we actually have that journey set up so that as soon as a new member joins, we direct message them and we're like, right, what are you struggling with? Okay, let's give you a custom plan based on that. So I think that's the best way to handle it. Barbara says, I totally get your feelings. It can really seem overwhelming when you just start working out. Slowly and methodically is the way to go. And also say the AI Profit Boardroom is awesome. Thank you, Barbara. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. And if you're in the AI Profit Boardroom or you're thinking about joining, one of the best things that we actually have inside there is the focus protocol, right? So inside the AI Profit Boardroom, we have this focus protocol. As you can see right here, so if you go to the start here post, or if you just direct message me if you don't already have access, right? Go inside the AI Profit Boardroom, and then if you feel overwhelmed, if you want to cut out the noise, if you want something that's step by step, we've got a full 6-week course right here, right? And if you still feel overwhelmed, it's okay. You can follow my protocol, which is how I stay focused and how I manage this. Bear in mind, like I'm always looking at new updates, new tools, new crazy stuff, but I never feel overwhelmed, right? And it's because I have this focus manual that just helps me through it and helps me really figure out, okay, here's what I need to focus on, and here's all the stuff that I can avoid and stop being distracted by. Crystal says, been playing with AI avatar, different models, so many out there. Yeah, we have like multiple different AI avatars that we use to promote our SEO agency and also the AI profit boarding, and it works really well. And there's so many different options, right? So I think you're already inside the AI profit boarding, Crystal, and so you can check out the avatar training. But for anyone else, you can see it inside there as well. So today I'm going to show you how to use Claude Cowork, which is the new update from Claude, as you can see right here. And we can actually build out websites like this, right? And then we can open them up inside anti-gravity and deploy them, right? So for example, here we actually took the custom website from Claude Code and Cowork, right, which is a brand new AI agent from Claude Code. Then we plugged it into Netlify, and we actually use Netlify in a combination of anti-gravity, which I'll show you how to use in a second. And by the way, anti-gravity is free to use. And we deployed it to a subdomain, as you can see right here. So it's a really powerful combination because you can create like beautiful websites using Claude Cowork. You can host these locally, and then what you can do is actually transfer them over to anti-gravity, and inside anti-gravity you can vibe code them out, or you can deploy them, or you can add a database to them using Superbase and that sort of thing. So it's pretty amazing what you can do with this. So I want to show you exactly how it works step by step and how to do this. All right. So what we're going to do is we are going to go over to the chat over here. And let's say you want to build out an app, right? So first of all, you need to make sure that you have the max plan with Claude to use Cowork. And from here, you want to select Cowork, right? Now, you're going to run a new task and make sure that you have the right folder set up, right? So you want to make sure that you have a folder where you can store the files for your website. So for example, for me, I could set up a website right here. And we could put this in the code section, for example, and just add a new folder right there that Claude Cowork can run from, right? So let me do that. So we're going to go to code, then we're going to set up a new folder, and we're going to call this, okay, new app, right? Something like that. Then we're going to go back to downloads, choose a different folder. We're going to select new app right here. And that just silos away the project folders so that we keep things organized. And obviously Claude doesn't have access to your whole computer. It just has access to that one single folder. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to grab a prompt from the AI Success Lab. So if you scroll down right here, you actually see that we've got a bunch of prompts that you could actually steal from me. So for example, we could take one of these and we could say, okay, build out an AI automation themed Tetris game with a CTA to the AI profit border, right? And then we're going to add a link to it. Link is here. Funnel traffic to this page, right? Make sure the game is fun, dopamine inducing, crazy colors, etc. Right? Then we're going to hit let's go. And what you can see here is that Claude Cowork is going to begin to code that out and build it out, right? Whilst we're waiting for that to load, someone asks, is there an offer on right now to get the SEO Elite Circle when you sign up to the AI Profit Boarding? And that's absolutely true. So if you sign up to the AI Profit Boarding, you will get access to the SEO Elite Circle whilst you're an active member. So feel free to sign up. And if you can't find out where to get access or that sort of thing, just direct message me once you're in the group and we can get you sorted out. You can get that at aiprofitboarding.com or go to the link in the comments and description. So this is writing out the AI Tetris game, as you can see right here. And then what we'll do in a second is we will open the folder inside anti-gravity, which we'll come on to in a second, all right? Now, in the meantime, if you want to get all the resources from today, it's inside the AI Success Lab, as you can see right here, along with a 2-hour free course on how to use anti-gravity. But let's talk about, okay, why is this so powerful? Why is this so useful right now? So, Google Anti-Gravity plus Claude Cowork is one of the most powerful end-to-end development workflows available. And most people don't even know these tools can work together. All right. And this isn't really about like writing code faster. It's about having 3 AI agents working as a team, one that builds your project locally, one that tests it in a real browser, and one that deploys it live or working database, all without you touching deployment configs or writing backend code, right? So today, really, you're going to see how to connect Claude Cowork, Anti-Gravity, and Netlify MCP and Supabase MCP into one workflow that takes you from like empty folder to live website with a database in under an hour, right? It will take me way less than that to actually do this, right? And I call this a build, test, deploy workflow, right? It runs in 3 phases. So number 1 is build and use Claude Cowork to do that. So you build your project locally on your Mac with Claude, handling all the file creation. Then you're going to test it. So you're going to use Anti-Gravity to test it. And you can actually see that Claude is testing it out right now. We're just going to go back to Anti-Gravity. So you can open up the same project in Anti-Gravity and use browser agents to test it. And then phase number 3 is deploy it with MCP service. So let's show you exactly how to implement this. And I do have a 30-day implementation plan for mastering this too, but let's go straight into it. So if we go back to Claude right here, we've got the HTML, like you can see, and this is the AI automation Tetris game, right? So we're just going to click on start automating, and then you can see this is good to go. And you see here how it's got a CTA to the AI profit boardroom. Boom shakalaka. That's what we like, right? Pretty simple and easy. Now, if we go back to Claude here, we can test this out. So let's just try moving this around. Yep, it works perfectly. Beautiful. All right. So the game is working nicely. And then, you can open this up in Google Chrome if you want to, like you can see right here. Pretty nice. But we actually want to deploy it and we want to add like a backend to it as well, right? So how do we do that, right? What we're going to do is we're going to go to new window over here inside Anti-Gravity, which you could download for free at antigravity.google. Then you're going to click on open folder. And from here, you are going to select the folder that you created the game with, right? So new app was the folder that we created. So we're going to open that up, like you can see. We're going to allow access to this. The agent's going to just load up on the right-hand side over here, as you can see. We're just going to say, okay, open this up and test it out. Now, you might be saying at this point, okay, why would you switch over to Claude Cowork, right? The reason that I would do that is like number one, you've got these agents that are controlling the browser. Like you can see, I'm not touching or clicking any buttons on the screen, right? And the other thing here as well is that you can see all the files. You can edit this in a nice IDE, and then also, you know, anti-gravity allows you to use free APIs to create more work on it as well later. I just think it's a perfect combination because anti-gravity is more built for like vibe coding, whereas Claude Cowork is more built for like just a quick local project, right? So this is going to begin to test this out. Like you can see, it's testing this out and playing the Tetris game for us. Again, this is the AI controlling this. This is not me, but I actually really like the UI. I think it looks super nice, right? So you can see here the agent is actually moving the Tetris pieces around. And we've got the AI agent being tested right here, right? So pretty simple and easy. Now, if we go back to anti-gravity like so, I'm just going to close, I'm just going to pause this right now. So we'll stop. If you ever want to stop Cowork, you just press the stop button at the bottom. And then if we go over to anti-gravity now, what we can actually do is we can say, okay, great. Now add a database for people to log in on this website, right? We're going to stop that. So add a login page plus link the Superbase MCP so that people can log in and see their leaderboard, etc. Right. So like basically you could have a game where people log in or an app or whatever it is, you know, and you can create whatever you want. Like Tetris games just for fun, but you could build some really cool stuff with this. Any idea that you have for an app, you could build with Claude Cowork and Anti-Gravity. And the way that we're using this, if you're wondering, okay, how do we set up those MCPs? So what we actually did is you just click on the three dots at the top, you select MCP servers, then you're going to install the ones that you want. For each one of these, you will need to get a personal access token, but that's not much work. And then, for example, if we click on this one, we can just start installing these step by step, right? So, for example, some people, you know, you could install like the MCP for PayPal, for example, or something like that if you wanted to. So, if we go back to the chat now, like you can see, we're going to click on back to agent. And now you can see it's actually built out the leaderboard for the page, right? So we've got this login to save progress bit. And then you've actually got a leaderboard section as well that you can link to as well. And then if we actually have a look in the chat here, it's use the MCP tool Superbase to add a database and a login page to this project, right? And then now we're actually building something that people can log into. We've got a database, people can save their progress, etc. And it becomes like a proper app that you can deploy quickly, which I'll come on to in a second. I'll show you how to deploy in a second. So we'll wait for this to load. Now it's testing out, so you can see right here. And then we have this ready to go, right? So for example, here, let's just test this out. Yeah, so we can log in to the tool. We can sign up for a login and we're good to go on that. All right. Now, how do we actually deploy this once we've used Superbase to set up the database? Well, what we can do from here is we can say, okay, deploy this to a subdomain using Netlify MCP. And we're good to go from here. Tinsky, my first ever comment from Twitch. I've never seen a comment from Twitch before. Thank you very much, sir, for tuning in. So we're going to wait for this to load. This is deploying to subdomain now. Boom, shakalaka, look at that. It's on a nice little subdomain here. And that is basically how to build out a new website, add a database with anti-gravity, automate it all with Cowork, and then deploy it to a subdomain like you've seen today using the Netlify MCP. So it's incredibly, well, it's amazing really to be able to do this, to use AI agents locally to host and build whatever you want, to leverage the power of Claude Cowork. And the other thing I would say about this is like, this is just the beginning, right? Like this is the worst it's ever going to be, but it basically coded something out perfectly first time round in exactly the way that we wanted to do it, right? So if you want to get the video notes from today, including all the resources, a 2-hour training on anti-gravity for free, you want to get the 30-day plan on how to build this, plus the build test deploy workflow that I've shown you today, the framework, and then also over 100 prompts for this workflow that you can just copy and paste and steal from me. You can get this for free inside the AI Success Lab. Link in the comments and description. So go to the AI Success Lab, like you can see right here. It connects you with 45,600 members. We have all of these different free trainings right here. And if you go to this section, you can find all the notes from today, like you can see. Now, inside the AI Profit Boardroom community, we actually have a private community of 2,100 serious entrepreneurs who are automating their business with AI, right? We actually have a daily accountability group inside there. You can post inside the community, ask any questions and get help and support whenever you need it. You can see all the people winning with this stuff, right? So it's not just me. There's so many business owners out there who are automating their business and growing and scaling using AI automation. And you can be part of that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. And also, if you want to know, like, okay, what's my tech stack, right? What do I use for my business day to day? Well, you can get all of my best playbooks and tech stack inside the classroom right here. You can also learn how to automate your business and go from complete beginner to expert with AI automation in just 5 weeks. And also, you'll learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. On top of that, if you struggle with overwhelm or shiny object syndrome or focus, we actually have a full focus protocol inside here to help you avoid that. We show you how to get more clients and scale your agency using this course. You'll learn how to do AI SEO automation and rank number one inside ChatGPT and other AI search engines for your business, and also how to grow a YouTube channel based on what's working for me. So you can get that all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. It's available, link in the comments description, or just go to the AIProfitBoardroom.com to get access. So today we're going to be looking at the brand new Claude computer use agents that work on your desktop and can basically automate your whole computer. Plus, they can actually control your browser as well. So let's get straight into it. What is Claude Cowork? Well, basically, this is like a virtual assistant on your laptop that can just run and build and automate all sorts of things, right? So, for example, if we go to Claude, you can see today we built all sorts of things. Like, for example, this Tetris game. As you can see right here, we coded it out locally. Um, pretty well, it pretty much worked first time around. It looks pretty cool. You can see here we created a 30-day content calendar using this as well. We organized a downloads folder, created a spreadsheet for tracking stuff. We researched and analyzed Claude co-working reports that it generated for us as well. We have even posted tweets, and I'll come on to that in a second and exactly how to do it, like you can see right here. And then additionally, inside Claude Cowork, we can also create websites and then host them on a subdomain as well, like you can see right here, right? And this can basically control and create files and organize files. It can control your actual browser as well. And I'm gonna show you exactly how to get set up here. So if you actually want these agents to control your browser, for example, what you need to do is make sure that you have the max plan from Claude. And then you also want to make sure that you have the Claude for Chrome plugin right here. And once you're logged in on here, and once you're logged in directly on Claude Cowork, like you can see, and you've updated the desktop version of Claude to this version right here, then what you can start doing is you can easily set this up. So let me show you exactly how to do this, right? What you're gonna do from here is you're gonna go to a new app, like you see right here. And then, for example, we can say, okay, go to X using browser agent on Chrome with Claude, then tweet out a mind-blowing tweet on the new Claude Cowork update, right? Something like that. Now, if we use the messages you can see right here, the prompt, what it's going to do is say, right, I'll help you go to X and tweet about the new Cowork update. Let me get the browser context and then navigate to X, right? And so you can see here it's actually opened up a tab. Now it's going to begin to compose a tweet. And you can see it says Claude is active in this tab group, like you see right here. It's right in the tweet, like you can see. So it says, Claude just became your AI coworker. The new cowork update is insane. The other cool thing here is because it's logged into my account and it understands me and the history of the tweets that we've created with Claude Cowork, well, it can actually do that and post just like me, like you can see right here, right? And so it's created this tweet. It looks pretty good. It's written better than most of my team could write, to be honest. And it did it in just one simple, quick prompt, right? So it's given me the tweet and what it reads over here so it can communicate with the browser. And then if we go inside here and we say, okay, post this, it's now posted the tweet, right? So it posted that tweet, like you see right here, wrote it pretty nicely, formatted it perfectly. This isn't like AI slop as well. It's like actually something that's better than most of the posts on this. There, I think it'll actually do pretty well. And then if we go back to Claude now, inside Cowork, you can see it's like the tweet covers this, blah, blah, blah. And I love that it ties into your live stream happening right now, right? It actually understands that I'm doing a live stream as we're talking right now. And it says, I love that you're talking about the Claude Cowork AI agent, perfect timing, right? And so it posted a tweet, wrote it, posted it live, controlled the laptop, controlled the browser, went off and posted this on my live account, and even knew that I was doing this on a live stream. So it has a lot of context and it understands exactly what is going on, right? I mean, a lot of people actually watch this video and may not understand, what's happening here, but the agent understands exactly what's happening, which is crazy. So let's try something else now, right? What we're going to say is we'll go back to Claude here and we'll say, right, okay, write an email, or in fact, navigate to my calendar and create a new event for a Claude co-work party today. Plus, make sure that you send an email to me@juliangoldie.com inviting him. Right? This is for the live stream happening right now. Right? And now it's going to pop up with something that says, do I allow it to control my browser, which is fine. And you've got two options here. You can open up Claude Cowork like you can see, or what you can do is you can navigate to your browser and just see what it's doing in live real time, right? So it's up to you how you want to use this and that sort of thing. And if we go to the other browser here, you can see it's navigated to my calendar, right? So it's actually going to open up the calendar, like you can see. It's creating the new event for the Claude Cowork party. It's going to try and add a title. It's created the title Claude Cowork Party like this, and it's set the time as well just for 1 hour. Now it's going to add the email address. So it's inviting me at juliangoldie.com. And bear in mind, like I've used plenty of browser agents, I've used plenty of computer use agents. I would say the way that you can use this is by far the easiest, right? So, for example, I've tried something like Google Marina, ChatGPT agents, even the Claude for Chrome browser agent right here. And I think the way that Cowork works is like it's so powerful for people who don't use AI or don't understand AI. And I think that's what we're looking at here is like, we can all access this now, right? And it's just a local program that runs here, and you can control and do anything using these computer use agents. And that's what I love is like, it's not really failing at this point. It's doing whatever it wants and however it wants, and it's working almost perfectly, like you can see. So it's going to add a description for the event, and then it's going to save it. I'm actually going to pull this up side by side just so it's easier to see for you. Now it's going to send the invitation. And it sent it. Boom. Look at that, right? So if we now navigate to me at juliangoldie.com, let's have a look. Boom. Look at that. We've got the invitation for the Claude Cowork party. It's invited us right here. I like the fact that it's added a cheeky little emoji in the title. And how easy was that, right? So just to recap on this, like there's so much you can do with this, right? And we're really just scratching the surface. So for example, we built out a Tetris game. Like you can see, we tweeted live and then we sent an email invite plus a calendar invite for this particular post. We created a 30-day calendar previously as well, like you can see, and then you can open this up in numbers. So if we open this up, this has created a local file right here. So not only can it like create the file and organize and track information and that sort of thing, but it will also have a nice little link to just check that out locally, like you can see. Here you can see I actually said, help me organize my downloads folder so it's easier to manage. And it did that pretty nicely. It actually gave me a nice little table breaking down all the files and the folders that we set up. We've got a budget tracking sheet. We have the content creation process, write a message about Claude Cowork, blah, blah, blah. We created a website for the AI Profit Boardroom that looks super nice. Right, so let's open this up. Boom, look at that. It's better than my exact. It's actually better than my existing website, right? And then if we go back here, we organized our desktop files and actually deleted a bunch of files off my desktop just using Claude Cowork before, and there was no problems. The only thing that I've seen it struggle with is actually creating a presentation, but as apart from that, I think you're all good. I think it can do almost anything. So you can see exactly how to use Claude Cowork, how to get this to control your computer, how to do all sorts of things. You know, you could analyze competitive websites, create a comparison sheet, you could generate social media content from blog posts, all sorts of things like this, right? Now, let's have a look at some of the limiting beliefs that might be holding people back. So some people will say, well, AI is improving fast. Like I should wait a few months until the next version comes out. You know, I don't want to spend my time learning something that'll be obsolete soon. But the thing is, like the new empowerment belief is like every month you wait is another month of wasted time of manual work, right? And the winners start now with current tools and stay ahead as improvements arrive. So waiting basically means failing, right? And falling behind. And this is crazy because it will keep you stuck, right? Here's the truth, like AI is always getting better. There will always be a new model coming in 3 to 6 months. But if you wait for good enough, you'll wait forever, right? Because by the time the next version launches, there'll be another one on the horizon. Meanwhile, your competitors are using today's tools. They're saving hours per week. They're deploying those saved hours to grow, right, and scale. And so, like, when you finally decide you're ready, they'll be 6 months ahead of you. That's the main thing. So the way that I see it is like I use the best tools available today. And then when better tools launch, I upgrade, right? I don't lose anything by starting now. So I gain experience, save time, results, and learning. Compare that to waiting. Like you gain nothing, you lose time, you fall further behind to people who are already all implementing this now. So, you know, Claude Cowork is available right now. It works right now. It can save you time starting today. Will it improve in 6 months? Absolutely. Should you wait 6 months to start? Absolutely not, right? The best time to start AI and using AI was like 12 months ago. The second best time is today. So that's the way that I would look at it. Let's have a look at some of the questions we've got. One Star Will says, dude, you're like the other half of my brain I don't have. Lol. Thank you. I hope that's a compliment. CX Nation says, are you walking while streaming? You are a multitasking master. Yeah, I am. Yeah. You know, you got to get the steps in, stay healthy, and do live streams. That's what I think. Sperio says, hello and thank you for the tutorials. Happy to help. Scully says, Goldie Pop. And says, I hope you're not on a treadmill. I hope you're on a treadmill and that's not how you dance when you're in a good mood. Yeah, I'm just doing my special Claude dance now. Just kidding. Just love your work. You're the guy I tell everybody about. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Scully Pop. And One Star Will says, I need a real person assistant to manage my AI assistant while I do the more challenging code stuff. But the problem is that if people can use this, they probably wouldn't be an assistant. I'll show you something interesting here. And I think you'll like this, right? So if you check out this system right here, I actually get one of my assistants to just manage the AI and to post onto X for me. Like you can see, I've done other videos about it. You can search them on YouTube if you want, right? Or get the system inside the app offboarding, right? But the main point here is like I can get my team to use these tools as an assistant, as a virtual assistant, whatever it is. And my whole team use AI just like I do. Like I train them up. This one of the reasons I create the videos is I use them as training videos, right? And if you actually have a look, like you can see our analytics are just popping off, right? For example, a couple of days ago, we reached 708,000 people one day, 459,000 people in one day. And this is just like a basic, this is just a virtual assistant who's never done AI and never done Twitter before, right? And so my point here is like you can get and train a team to use this stuff, especially if you give them my videos, right? Because they're just following the same steps you are. We're all in the same boat, right? How many steps so far from Crystal? Let's have a look. Let's have a cheeky gander. So 21,000. I don't think you can see that actually, to be fair, but we got 21,000 steps today. Plus, we did the Muay Thai, so I'm feeling good. Starks DevOps says great content. Happy to help. Scully says, I love the look on my clients' faces when I tell them I made an AI employee for them. Yeah, 100%. And then CX Nation says, where do we start if we join the AI Profit Boardroom? It's like you have too much content. It's a bit confusing. Right. So when you join the AI Profit Boardroom, we actually DM you, we direct message you, and we say, like, what are you struggling with right now? What do you need help and support with right now? Right. And then you give us the actual thing that you're struggling with, and we give you a custom journey. So we built out custom journeys for like every single problem we've seen members struggle with. Right. And we have 2,100 members inside there. And so, like, if you want to learn this stuff, like, we'll literally listen to you, figure out what the problem is, and then we'll give you a custom journey based on that. So it really depends where you're at. But the other thing you could do as well is just start with the accountability group. So if you want to start implementing this right today, start with the accountability group, set your goals, tell everyone what you're going to do, right? Because you're far more likely to achieve your goals. You're far more likely to implement this stuff if you declare it publicly. And that's what the AR Profit Boarding Accountability Group is like. And it's a daily check-in where you can just say, right, today I'm going to work on this. People check back and they make sure they actually do it, right? So that's where I would start with this. If you're a complete beginner, then go to the classroom. And inside the AI Profit Boarding, we have the 6-week AI Automation Masterclass that takes you from complete beginner to expert with AI in just 5 weeks. Plus, you'll learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes, right? If you're struggling with overwhelm, we have different protocols for that. If you want to learn how we create avatar videos, you can see this whole process. But whatever your problem is, whatever you need help with, right, we can help you with this because we've seen so many members do it, and we've designed a custom journey for every single person. Depending on where they're at and what they're struggling with and how we can help them. So that's basically what we do. That's inside the AR Profit Boarding. Feel free to get it. Link in the comments description. We also have 4 coaching calls a week, so you can jump on these coaching calls, get help, get support, unlimited technical support whenever you need it. And if you want to watch those calls back, you can watch it back inside the classroom here. And also, you can also post inside the community here. Get help, get support whenever you need it, and we're just all here to help each other. That's the main goal of this. So feel free to join. Link in the comments description to the AR Profit Boarding, and I hope to see you inside there. Cheers. Bye-bye.